Hi friends. Recently, a couple of you have asked me to talk about how to clean an iron skillet. So I made bacon for breakfast, and I thought today's the day. So, and it's really great once in a while to cook something that's really got a lot of fat in it, so that that oil can get into your cast iron. So that's really good. If you have a cast iron, that's probably really loud, sorry about that. If you have a cast iron that is damaged, you can restore it. And one of the ways you want to do that is you want to scrape all of the rust off, and you can reclaim it. It takes some work. So basically you just never want your cast iron to have soap on it. Maybe when you first get it, you might wash it, and then you'll start the curating, kind of the seasoning of it. But once you do that first initial brand new cast iron wash, you never want to put soap on it again. So I understand that that's really hard. I have a cover that I use because I've burned my hand, so Peyton got me a little cover. But basically, when there is stuff left in my pan, I get a scraper, and then I just scrape. You're not going to use metal. You want to use plastic. And I don't know if you have one of these scrapers that comes with various different pieces, but they're great. You never want to use wool. You just want it to get absolutely clean. And then we're gonna, now this is giving me a little bit of a work. So what I'm gonna do for kind of a scrape agent is I'm gonna put some coarse salt in my pan. This is another way to kind of clean it when it is really dirty. The salt is gonna work as a coarse agent, and it's gonna help bring up those little bits. And what you want is you want a complete smooth pan. So I have coarse salt that I use for our cooking and that kind of stuff, for seasoning, but I also keep a bag for when I need a little extra care for my cast iron. So that's actually coming along pretty well. That might actually have done it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dump out the salt, and I am almost dumped out the salt, and then I'm going to give it a hot bath. And I'm going to make sure that everything gets wet, and then I'll come back and we'll season. Okay? Okay, so I dumped out the salt, and I gave it a really hot water bath, and I used a scraper, but not a wool scraper. I used this side of one of the kind of sponges. I might also use my regular scraper, but I would not use wool, and I would never use soap. Never soap. So the main things you need to know about a cast iron skillet or grill is that you don't want to use soap because it's got pores, and so it's going to get into, and it ruins it, right? And the other thing is you want to get it dry. So you don't want to use soap. You want to get it dry when you're finishing it, and you always want to just keep seasoning it a little bit more. So you can put a little oil in as you're building up your seasoning, and you just give it, now when you're first time kind of seasoning a pan, you're gonna want to put your oven at 500 degrees. You're gonna wanna get the handle. You wanna get any kind of extra little bits your cast iron might have. Now look at that, that is gorgeous, right? Flip it over, do the back. You wanna get it all. You wanna get the sides. You wanna get the handle. You wanna get going. Now, the thing is you wanna have your oven at 500. You wanna, sorry, so noisy. You wanna make sure that it's gonna get past the smoking point so that your oil then really just seeps in and creates a seal on your cast iron, and it moves beyond the smoking point. So it's just what you need. And you're gonna let it cook about an hour, and then you'll be sealed and ready to go, and it'll be beautiful for the next time. Every now and then it's good to do one of these kind of oven sealing, seasoning bits. If you are just drying your cast iron, you can sit it on, dry it as much as you can, and then sit it on a burner, and then just let it, maybe for like not even a minute, but make sure that it gets hot again so that it dries everything. Everything is completely dried, and that's gonna stop the rust. So if you get a rusty, if your pan gets rusty, you can bring it back to life. Just scrape everything off, get it re-seasoned like this, give it a little oven bath, and then get back and season it again, and then start cooking. When you have a well-seasoned pan, and when you have it ages and is absolutely can be an heirloom, it can be continued to be passed down to generations, but it also just gives you the best flavor, gives you the best sear. It really becomes like non-stick. I just love my cast iron pan, and you see me use it all the time, right? It's one of my 3 essentials all the time. Hope this was helpful. Into the oven it goes, upside down, and just a good seasoning. So thanks for the extra seasoning day. There we go. Hope this was helpful. Love from New Jersey.